I love playing recorder. I love playing recorder with my G, my A, my B, my C, my D, my high E. How do I play that? That is not how you play high E. I'm Zach from the Dynamic Music Room. I've been playing recorder for like 20 years. I've been teaching it for over 10, and I'm here to tell you that high E is not that tricky as long as you know what you're doing. And today we're going to get into that. So make sure you pay attention and get every single part of this video down because everything here is crucial for sounding good on the note high E. By the way, you don't want to miss out for future recorder type videos or music lessons. So make sure you hit that subscribe button right now and let's jump into it. First, we need to talk about, what high E is. Like, how do you know when to play high E? There's two different types of E's. You're right. But on the treble clef staff, you always play high E when it's this note on the top space. This is the treble clef. Ooh. And then where this arrow is, the note on the top space. Where did it go? Right there. That is high E. Okay? High E. Pretty cool. It's on this. So anytime you see this, that's when you play high E. Wait, Mr. V, it's upside down. What do I do? Well, hopefully by this point, most people are familiar with the idea, especially since we start on B, that any note that's middle line or above, we flip upside down. That way the stem doesn't go pointing up into the atmosphere. It just makes it easier and condensed to, when they print music, that way they don't have to use more space for the stems that are going like way out in outer space, that kind of thing. So that's why maybe you didn't know that. Now you do. Next part of playing high E on recorder is to talk about the fingering. So I drew a picture. It's probably the best picture ever drawn of a recorder. It might win some awards, so it's pretty cool. And don't try to be too impressed with this drawing. It's not that good. Okay, so you can see I've got the basics of the recorder. I've got the main recorder part here going straight down. And then I've got this hole to the side. That's the thumb hole. Since that's on the back, we can't really see it, but that's where it is. So to play high E on the recorder, we're going to start with our left hand on top. With our left hand on top, we're going to cover up. Any of these black holes are the ones that are covering. Cover up 1, 2, 3 with our left hand. And then these dotted lines represent the joints or the parts of the recorder. Check out this video here if you want to learn more about the parts of recorder. And we're going to cover up the fourth and fifth hole now with our right hand pointer and middle. The bottom two sets of holes, which kind of look like that usually, are not covered in this case. The thumb hole is what's interesting because it is half covered instead of fully covered. If you fully covered it, then we'd have, it's on this side, then we'd have low E. But when we half cover it and we slightly intensify the air, that's when we get high E. Let's talk about how to play it. Okay, so we talked about the fingerings and where to find it, but now we need to get this half hole technique down. So here's what I have my students do. Wow, that was a really high voice right there. Here's what I have my students do. I cover up, I tell them to play low E. So they're going to do thumb on the back, pointer, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, pointer, middle ring finger, all that stuff. Left hand on top. Now I'm going to switch to my right hand and cover up the pointer and middle finger. So one thumb, 1, 2, 3, right hand, 4, 5 for low E. So we'll just play that. Sounds pretty good. Sounds pretty good. Now to get to high E, I'm going to demonstrate this with my pointer finger. To get to high E, normally low E is covered up all the way. For high E, we're going to move our thumbs down slightly to half cover the hole. All right? And when this is half covered, it forces the air kind of to split and jump up the octave. You might also want to intensify the air slightly, make it a little bit colder if that makes sense to you, but you don't want to blow harder or the sound is just like piercing. So I'm going to play low E, and then all I'm going to do is roll my thumb, shift it slightly so half of it is sticking out. So I'm going to go back and forth. So here's with thumb covered. Here's half covered. Covered. Half covered. Back and forth. And if you practice that and get that tiny motion. It's really, really small with that thumb moving. You can do that too, where it goes back and forth. And then you do stuff like that. So now that's pretty much how you play high E on the recorder. See, it's not that hard. You just have to learn to think about it, and that half hold technique is really important. It's super important. It's a part of a lot of really cool songs like Silent Night, for example. Silent Night uses high E and high F, and I talk about how to play Silent Night on recorder in this video here that pops up where that I is popping up. Check that out if you'd like it, those kind of things. If you like this kind of content, make sure you subscribe, because I've got some cool stuff coming up. I've mentioned it a couple of times now, but I'm trying to learn a really hard song and put it together as a recorded trio with myself, and I don't want you to miss out on it, especially because at this point I've probably put like 10, 15 hours on it, and I haven't even gotten to the recording stage yet. I had to write the trio, then I have to practice the parts, then I'm gonna have to record the parts and put them together. It's crazy. But this video that's coming up uses the high E. It starts with an E to high E jump, a low E to high E jump. See, I need to practice more too. I'm really excited for that to come up. I don't want you to miss it. So make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, all that stuff. All right. So now you know how to play high E on recorder. Go start practicing. And until next time, keep on playing.